Hello, I'm your host, Sensei Pong. Today we'll be reading Sonic the Hedgehog, so cuddle up, sleep tight, and enjoy the story. Sonic the Hedgehog. Abroad the emerald hills, where the sun is always shiny, amongst the daffodils, where the sea is always briny, the folk known as islanders live in peace and cheer, nor are rarely ever banters without a trace of fear. But that was a couple years ago, when the times were different from what we know. How the life of the islanders have changed since then, their once beaming faces losing all their glow. Islanders beaten, the trees burned down, all those free began to cower. It was a dim wintry day with dark clouds and a storm, innocent transformed, island in ruins. The evil Robotnik had come to power. Dr. Robotnik came like a wave, destroying each and every one flower, turning islanders to cyborgs, all being forced to conform. Islanders beaten, the trees burned down, all those free began to cower. Some rebels fought back, like the fox, Miles' tail's prower. But every skirmish a fail, every fight a bust to return to the norm. Innocent transformed, island in ruins, the evil Robotnik had come to power. From the rolling green hill zone to the hilltops turned sour, Robotnik fought with a fury, a frightful vengeance of scorn. Islanders beaten, the trees burned down, all those free began to cower. Despite the valiant attempts of the brave to regain their hour, the evil doctor's army stung like a thorn. Innocent transformed, island in ruins, the evil Robotnik had come to power. So that's the history, tears falling like a shower. Hope lost, Robotnik's oppression without reform. Islanders beaten, the trees burned down, all those free began to cower. Innocent transformed, island in ruins, the evil Robotnik had come to power. But things slowly changed as a hero was born, faster than the speed of sound. Fighting Robotnik's army with a dash and a spin, the islanders' hearts began to bound. He was blue but ran like a blur, and zipped by every trap. He bolted like lightning past every small cyborg, had a victory with every lap. He freed his friends from the robotic chains, not missing a single place on the map. So Dr. Robotnik built microbots to defer, to knock out that blur with a pound. Robotnik built smashers and swingers to beat the blur to the ground. Robotnik built a greater army, but the blur was too fast to be found. Across the ancient ruins his army fell to a scrap. In a chemical plant he had built, broken bots rattled with a rap. Everywhere Robotnik looked for the bold blue blur, led to a dead end on his map. Robotnik cursed at the unnamed hero, all plans to beat him unwound. So, the evil Dr. Robotnik swung into action for even greater bots, mecha suits to arm himself to battle against the unknown rebel islander, with drills, rockets, and bombs to take the blue blur to the grinder. But every single time Robotnik found him, there was only missed shots. All the wires of Robotnik's army tied up into knots. Robotnik thought to himself and began to wonder if this was only one hero or a legion of thunder. So Robotnik devised yet another plan to brew more devious plots. But on a remote, hidden corner of the islanders' homeland, the surviving islander rebels planned quietly for their win. Tails Prower the fox planned an attack for one last stand. Uncertain with the odds against them, Tails tried to smile, though hopes were thin. Tails brought all the islanders for a huddle, a strategy, told the rebels their plan of attack, that this was their chance, a final push against Robotnik, or their homes and lives would be lost to Robotnik's abuse. He had built a couple machines of his own ingenuity to help their small squad fight with a possible victory stance, for if they didn't act now, any other fight would only yield no use. But out of the wilds there came a swift sound, the pattering of feet rumbling the ground. It zipped by the rebels as if assessing the situation, and in one clear stop the speedy blue blur was finally found. The mystery hero grinned with a friendly smile. It was clear he had traveled many a mile. "I'm Sonic," he said, "and speed's my game. I'm here to fight that Robotnik in style." The islanders cheered. The rumors were true. The lone blue blur was besting Robotnik's crew. With Sonic in the lead, Tails and the rebels' spirits rose. For Sonic the Hedgehog is too much to chew. Of course, Sonic ate a couple chili dogs before everything, and it's a matter of calorie consumption with running so fast all the time. Sonic and Tails hit it off like bread and butter. Tails made Sonic's shoes that made his feet faster and flutter, and with the two new friends working together so well, all the rebels knew Robotnik's army would fall apart into clutter. So Sonic led the charge against the aggressors, from the tops of every mountain to the deepest of every mine. Sonic ran and spun, obliterating their oppressors. Freedom for the islanders was near, 'twas only a matter of time. At first, Robotnik thought he had the upper hand, that the islanders were weak, his victory simple and quick. But as Sonic led the charge, the tables began to turn. Robotnik's losses more frequent, his failure unplanned. The doctor tried fiercer, but the blue blur always had a trick, so Robotnik looked from afar in a giant ship, watching his army burn. Robotnik sent out flying machines out by the 20. An air fleet of steel like locusts hungry to fight, zigging and zapping in the lands in a plenty. Firing missiles and fire, the skies and the land began to ignite. Robotnik's crowned flagship flew above the onslaught, watching, commanding his army's final drive. It was named the Death Egg and spanned bigger than the sky. It was Robotnik's ace in the sleeve, his final big plot. But over the horizon, a small plane swerved with a dive, causing his air fleet to stumble and scatter awry. Robotnik peered through a scope and cursed loudly to his onboard screens. He could see the rebel leader, Tails, Prower the Fox, but leaping from its wings, wrecking about his fleet of machines, was the blue blur flying towards him. Robotnik screamed, "That mutt!" Robotnik began to smash and pull every button and knob. From the bridge of his airship, he rained bullets at the hero's biplane. Rockets flew, robotic birds shrieked with claws forward, but Tails piloted like an ace with a duck and a bob. The arsenal of Robotnik didn't seem to wane. Then, one lucky shot grazed Tails' plane, and smoke ignited, propelling Sonic and Tails downward. "Sonic!" Tails cried. "I can't keep her afloat, we're going down!" "Just a little closer, buddy," Sonic said. "Robotnik can't get away." "I'll try my best," Tails replied, as he pulled at the controls with a frown. "Thanks, little buddy," Sonic said with a smile. "I'll see you after this fray." Sonic leapt through the air towards Robotnik's crown airship. With a grab and a spin, he climbed onto its side. Climbing higher and higher, he found a porthole-like door, and with all his strength, he opened it up with a flip. It was dark, but with courage, he climbed inside. Robotic guards attacked, so Sonic ran towards the airship's core. Buzz bombers, motor bugs, and egg robos guarded the halls, firing plasma bombs and missiles at Sonic as he ran. Explosions filled every corner. Sonic could feel the heat singe the tips of his hairs. But Sonic ran and fought harder. He couldn't give up. He had to fight for every Islander clan. Newtons appeared from out of the walls, tripping Sonic from the left to the right as egg fighters shot lasers as they marched determined toward our hero. Clockers aimed their sights as Sonic pressed on, while mantises jumped above out of sight. But Sonic kept battling. He fought like no Zero, for he knew Robotnik was near, and there would be triumph at dawn. Then, through the great hallways of Robotnik's Death Egg, Sonic finally reached his destination, the bridge of the ship. He would finally meet the villain on his last leg, to finally end the nightmare that was Robotnik's grip. Robotnik saw Sonic begin to run forward toward him, so he scrambled in panic and tried to deter. But Sonic, too fast, had smashed the controls to rubble, bringing the Death Egg to a spiral, its reign to dim. Robotnik too slow for Sonic the Blur. Robotnik screeched out, "Who are you? Or do I see double?" "I'm Sonic the Hedgehog, Dr. Robotnik. To be honest, your plan is dumb. I'm the fastest thing on 2 feet, can't be beat, but for now, gotta run. I'll get you next time," Robotnik roared. "You haven't seen the last of me." Robotnik panicked, his army beaten. He was forced to flee. Sonic and Tails returned victorious. All the islanders rejoiced. "Hurrah! For Sonic the Hedgehog, guardian of the Emerald Island!" Sonic achieved a job well done. The end.